Okay. So segment 2 today isn't going to be full on ranty, but since it is segment 2, I can rant if I want to.
Let's throw up segment 2. There you
go. So segment 2 was requested. So if you've watched the last couple episodes of, I was going to call it Legion Myth Weekly Livestream. Wow. Going a little backward there. RPG Digest. You'll know that I've been covering the Dragon magazines. We started number 1. We went to number 2. Well, apparently I've mentioned a couple of times about. I have notes printed out from Dragon magazines. I had to verify that these were Dragon and not Dungeon magazines, but they were Dragon, so that's good. Okay. Of things like, and this is actually one we're going to go through today. This is my binder of stuff. Like, good doesn't mean boring. And essentially, these are my thoughts on the Paladin. And I like that article so much, that and a couple others, that it's how I kind of enforce how Paladins are played in my world. Now, I don't use it exactly. I use the overall tone when it talks about how a Paladin generally should act. I don't care about Paladin of Justice, Paladin of War, blah, 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 that we'll get into in a moment. However, we are going to go through this magazine like we did all the other ones. We're going to show it off as if, we're going through it the first time. I have read the articles in here, but we're going to stop and we're going to focus on the how to play a Paladin thing. And we'll give some comments, and I'm going to read that one pretty much from beginning to end. So we're really going to, skip through a lot of the other stuff unless Heathen Dog's like, ooh, that seems interesting.
Well, hang on one second. Crafty, when do you wish to have another white middle-aged glasses-wearing gamer to join you? Well, you know what?
After this?
Hang on. No. I will put you over to here. If only white middle-aged glasses-wearing males are around, that's who you play with. That's it. If that's what you got, that's what you got. Don't feel bad for playing with people who are there. That's my answer.
I think he was asking to come on. I would like to get through this first. He raises it.
He's going to come on, yeah.
I would like to get through this first, because otherwise this could take quite a long time. And this is more of a segment 1, even though we're doing it segment 2. But you're welcome to talk about it when we finish during segment 3. And also the other topic you want to talk about. And when we get to segment 3, I'm also going to post in our Discord as well for those, to our Discord group, in case any of them want to come on and talk about POS Gamer. That's right. I said POS Gamer, not POC Gamer.
I know you did. And subscribe for the slurs. Love it.
Just in case, let's go ahead and put up the disclaimer too.
Oh, okay. Disclaimer. Gotcha.
Shouldn't really need it for a segment because it's going to be more like a segment 1, but just in case.
Just in case.
There you go.
All right.
3 is my favorite one. Okay, so here we go. This is number 140. Oh, I'm not even showing it.
144.
148.
Damn it. I was close.
Share screen. And staying in the magazine this time, not bounce around, so I can do that. Okay, so this is...
Okay, so I from right off the bat, compared to issues 1 and 2, issue number 148, the art, much better.
This is 13 years later.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, fair. This is much 13 years later. And also, it's not called The Dragon anymore. It's now called Dragon Magazine.
Oh, I know what this cover is.
Okay.
It's a homosexual take on Rapunzel. And he's like, I don't need no man.
Rapunzel, let your beard down.
Rapunzel, throw down your beard. I don't need no man.
Now Ghost of Tanlorn says, fucking metal cover. I see both sides of that one. What's funny is I actually like this cover, and now that you said that, I kind of feel dirty.
That's all you can see.
Yeah, now. Right? Ruined it.
I mean,
exactly.
Look at him. Look at him. He's dressed in basically nothing,
That's a man's man right there. And he's got
exactly
a cape.
Right. No,
he's got a cape.
Yes. He's a man looking for a man. The only problem is he's looking up the wrong tower. His Tinder date did not go well, or is not going to go well, because that rope's going to get cut and it's going to be bad.
All right, moving on.
No, I'm sorry, Grinder.
Grinder.
I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. Hey, you know what? Subscribe for the social for the social mistake.
Do these look familiar to you?
Yes, they do.
Monsters Compendium.
Yep.
That's right, compendiums. I'm one of the people that like the compendium. I understand why some people didn't. Conceptually, obviously, they didn't want to waste a lot of paper and only have stuff on one side. So I understand
I have 2 out of the 3.
Oh, I have all of them. I have like every.
I couldn't get volume 3.
No, there's more than that. There's I've got
no. They're the add-ons and stuff. I like where you add pages to one binder. That's what I did. I just added to make it all one thing.
These fell apart. These actual folders fell apart.
Yeah.
So all of mine are in. Well, can you see them on this? Yeah, they're right here. Can you see my mouse or no?
No.
Okay. Well, see the white folders over my shoulder? The
Yes.
top row, those are my Monsters Compendiums.
Right. I did the same thing. I have them in a giant white binder, and I just cut the front and back of the volume 1 compendium and stuck it to the front and back of the thing. Not right in the head. Mark,
He's right.
want to say you are full of crap, but no, you're probably right.
Okay, so
wait, no. Think about it. If you, the dog, if you saw a muscled up naked guy slinking around a castle, would you be the first to try and tackle him? It's natural camouflage. If I saw a big muscled guy slinking around my home, what would be my first tackle him? No. But axe him if he, tries to break into my home. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. All right. The thing is what bothers me about that is I'm supposed to be the one that says the offensive stuff. I feel hurt when he does that.
Hey, it's just the low hanging fruit.
Wasn't me. All right. So we've got
Rapunzel. Where's your party?
We're on to Slimer now.
All right, Slimer.
We're moving on to Slimer. Nice bright yellow page here. You can play the Ghostbusters from West End Games. Good company.
Oh, yeah.
You can order some CDs. Let's see what CDs were good then. Got Madonna, Richard Marx. What the hell? What was his
Fine Young Cannibals.
What was his famous song?
She Drives Me Crazy.
Fuck, what was that song?
I don't know.
Somebody knows that. Anyway, Madonna. Fine Young Cannibals. Yep. Cheap Trick. Oh, there we go. Jimmy Page.
Yep.
Joe Jackson. Judas Priest. Yeah.
Judas Priest. There you go.
White Lion Pride. I actually like that album. All right. What was that? AC/DC. Who made who? Go to English class. Wow, I need to now from saying go to an English class. Who made whom? That's right. That's your English for today. Debbie Gibson. Skid Row. I've got that.
Hey, she's Deborah now. She wants to go by. I don't really care.
They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. All right. So, issue 148, August 1989. I was, August. Well, that'd be during summer vacation between my sophomore and junior year. 89, 90, 90. Yeah. This is end of summer vacation in between my sophomore and junior year of high school.
Okay, I was in junior high still. Yep.
All right. So here are the things we're going to talk about. Fighting the good fight, ways to look at the war. This was actually a pretty good article, and we're not going to really talk about it because we're going to be spending a lot of time with this, and we're actually going to poke into this one just a touch. But this whole article was pretty much about fighters, or a magazine was about fighters. Okay. Until there are other things in here. I'm going to have a complaint toward the end. The 80s, the best decade of music. I know, right? I think I'll ruin by the 90s. I want stripped down, no talent music. You know what alternative music is, right?
Not music.
It's the alternative to music.
Exactly. Sounds.
Let's see. A lot of people complaining about some stuff. We're not going to read all those letters to the editor stuff. Forgotten Realms, Tantris. I don't have that one. I wish I did. Notice the print quality is actually consistent now. Oh, Heathen Dog left. Yeah, the advertisements for your friendly neighborhood gaming store.
Yep.
A lot of British stuff in here, by the way. Sage advice. This was hilarious to me when I read through these. This dude wrote in I don't know if he had word limits or what, but look how short his answers are.
Yeah. Concise. It's the old Twitter.
Are multi-class bards allowed? Text at 45 mentions multi-class bards, but the chart on page 44 doesn't. 44 is correct, 45 wrong. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I just, I find it funny. Can a fighter specialize with more than one weapon? No. But he can save additional slots as he earns them to specialize with a weapon later in his career if he doesn't fill those slots at the start. So, yeah. Oh, one of the things about this issue is this is 1989. Second edition was just released.
Yes.
So a lot of the information in here is still first edition related. So a lot of clarifying questions for second edition. Scrolling down. Always wear your best suit. All this really is, it talks about engraving your armor enameling, how you can have a signature suit of armor. Mm-hmm. Is this important for gameplay? Absolutely not. Is it important for somebody who wants to be a bit realistic in how armor was actually tailored to an individual and looked interesting and so forth? If that is something that's important to your gameplay, yes.
Well, no, I would say that that if you have a special set of clothing or a special armor that you wear to functions, and you have it enameled or engraved or both, I would give you a charisma modifier for first impression. I would do something like that. But it's
kind of assumed to be done by everybody of social status. It's more of just a role playing shtick. I don't have a problem with you doing that. I'm just saying It's more of a role playing shtick than anything else, which I'm not against, as long as it doesn't slow down or slow down is not the right word. As long as it doesn't bog down the game.
Right.
And here's another one, because people always argue with me about this. Mithril and adamantite are the same thing. No, they are not. Mithril, adamantite, superior and even rarer than mithril. They're not the same thing. Although, for me, this is Middle Earth stuff. This is D&D stuff.
Yeah. Mithril never existed outside of any Tolkien thing that I've ever did. Adamantite barely existed in anything I ran. All
right. Let's see. Orc's Nest. Oh, there's something at the end of this that, I thought this was Elmore at first, but it's not. That I want to show. If anybody cares where I used to game a long time ago, there's an advertisement for it in here. Tracking down the barbarian. So what this did is it said, hey, the barbarian is weird. And it's got a bunch of different rules for it. So how do we make it useful? So that's what this article was about. Remember, they're talking first edition for this one, just so you know. It's first edition. Because second edition barbarian didn't come out until a damn book later on. So can go over that. Good does not mean boring. This is where we're going to stop, and this is where we're going to read pretty much all of this.
Okay.
Good does not mean boring. I'm talking to you folks out there who play Paladins right now. And while I don't agree with the article 100%, I think about 99.8% of it I do. And really, the parts that I don't agree with aren't even things that I don't agree with. They're just not important. So, Paladins are far more complicated than you might think. By Scott Benny. Good article, by the way, Scott Benny. Don't know what you're doing today, but this was a good article. Of all the character classes in the AD&D first edition now, let's again, well, second edition had just come out. This is based on the history of it being second edition, or of it being first edition, sorry. Of all the character classes in the AD&D first edition game, the Paladin is one of the most misunderstood. When comparing campaigns, you will find people role-playing Paladins in radically different ways. Some Paladins treat anyone who isn't of their social class and heroic standing as vermin. That's a Cavalier, you dumb fuck.
Cavalier or an Arthurian knight, maybe.
Crusader.
Yeah.
Cavalier.
Crusader.
But I think the official term is Cavalier. We'll get to that in a moment. Now I just confused myself. But there are also those Paladins who drink nothing but milk and spend most of their time helping little old ladies across the street. If you want to do that, that's fine. But remember, you're supposed to be the right hand of your god. You are the sword arm of your god. So, will the real paladin please stand up? Complicating matters is the unearthed Arcana Tome, which unearthed paladins but reburied them as part of the Cavalier class. Ugh. The Cavalier class, however, is based on certain medieval knighthood orders that did a lot of foolish and un-paladin-like things. Hold on, let's do that. A lot of foolish and un-paladin... Stupid, stop highlighting everything. But okay, fine, screw you, PDF. Things, such as the Battle of Agincourt. Where the Cavaliers mowed down their own troops in pursuit of the glory of battle, only to be used as pincushions by sturdy peasant bowmen. How can paladins be categorized as part of this class? And that is something I don't know when I first printed out this this article, if I did it right back in that day. I know it was before I met you guys back in the 90s or the mid to late 90s. But this is something that's always bothered me in how people play paladins. Like, did the thief steal something? I cut off his hand. That's not a paladin. That is a cavalier. To understand paladins, you have to look at the reasons paladins exist and view their attitudes and actions from a variety of perspectives. All right, well, let's do that. The origin of paladins. Paladins exist to combat evil. All right, that's, and in my thing, this is one of the things that I've highlighted. Paladins exist to combat evil. Their primary abilities are most effective against evil. Thus, whatever powers created paladins and gave them their abilities had the destruction of evil as the main objective.
Sure.
Paladins also, so again, it's the right hand of the god. Doesn't mean it has to slay everything in front of it, but it is definitely when God needs a crusade, when God needs something smited, when God needs something destroyed, the paladin is the one that does that. Paladins also exist to protect and heal.
That's why they were given those abilities.
They have been given powers to aid the sick by carrying diseases and heal minor wounds by laying on hands. Thus, paladins who are destroyers are also healers. Their healing abilities are obviously not meant for evil beings. It would be most natural to heal those who are true and virtuous, especially if such people could not help themselves. And I've been in a couple groups where the paladins did that. If you weren't of the paladin's faith, he wasn't healing you. And I saw the other players in the group get mad. You don't worship my God. And not only that, but you worship some schmuck god that says it's okay to, stab people in the back. No, I'm not healing you. Therefore, the powers that created, I'm not saying that is the right way to go. I'm just saying that is an option.
Right.
Therefore, the powers that created paladins want them to protect the innocent. Another characteristic of paladins is their ability to turn undead and to cast clerical spells. Obviously, in addition to their formidable fighting skills, a paladin needs the wisdom and piety of a cleric, or piety, sorry. Therefore, paladins were created to serve the gods. Serve. They form religious orders of knighthood. In fact, they are fighting champions of their religions. I know I've made, interjected some commentary here, but he said certain things multiple ways, the same thing multiple ways. To strike home the point. Because paladins have different abilities and purposes, each one probably differs in his individual emphasis on which goal is most important. There's your individuality. You can see things differently. You can fight an injustice. You can go after undead. You can help little old ladies across the street, if that's the example you want to say.
No, hang on. More to the point, you must do all of these things, but you as a player can decide your character's weighting system. Like, how much more of this thing do you want to do than the others? Like,
sure.
Yeah. Do you want to smite evil more than help old ladies? Great. But you still got to help old ladies. You just have to do it all the time.
It's a priority for you. If you've got two options, which one's the priority for you?
Which one's the priority? Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
All right, so the pursuit of these ideals leads to 4 different types of paladinhood, which, while lawful good to the core, provide players and DMs alike with different ways of playing the class. Now, I don't use these. However, they are still good thought experiments for you to... Okay, sorry, I talked ahead of my brain. I don't use these, but I do use them. What I mean by that is I don't say, Heathen Dog, make a paladin of justice. What I say is make a paladin, and, here's one of the thought patterns you could have. Does that make more sense? I don't tailor my paladin. Well, you made a paladin of war, so you have to do these things. No. These are just thought experiments to help you go in a different direction. So, to some paladins, justice is the ultimate ideal. These paladins believe that they exist to serve an unswerving and unyielding law, and that this law is God dang it, I can't read. And that this law is in the best interest of good. Notice capital G. So it's alignment oriented or philosophically oriented.
Right.
A paladin of justice will spend his life pursuing injustice, seeking to punish the guilty. Such a paladin travels in search of wrongs to be righted, of crimes to be persecuted, and dead to be avenged. A paladin of justice seems to be grim and obsessed. Consider, going back in time here a little bit here, but consider him to be a Clint Eastwood, Judge Dredd, or Batman sort of paladin. I think Batman plays a little too, maybe even Judge Dredd, a little, fast and loose with the law. So maybe not Batman so much.
Clint Eastwood, I can see better because he was a cop. He had to follow some rules.
He's also in a lot of movies. So which one are we talking about? But anyway, yeah.
Well, I'm talking about the what do you call it? Oh my God, his first most famous role, and not with the monkey.
I've seen a lot of his movies, and they started to blend together for me.
The one with the
Dirty Harry. Dirty Harry?
Yeah, Dirty Harry. There you go.
Okay.
Dirty Harry. Yeah.
Judge Dredd is a paladin of justice. Nice.
Yeah, I got Mar Hawkman has one here. Draw power from your god, invoke power said god, and thus you can't act against God's wishes. So if your god doesn't like the followers of the other god, then you would not help them. That's doable. The average Joe, you would help. But if this person is a follower of a god that is against your god, like they are at odds, then not helping them would be completely fine.
So here's every game I've ever been in that had a situation like that. Oh no, your churches have decided to work together for whatever reason. Doing that once is fine, but when that's the trope every single time, how about this? How about Game Master or Dungeon Master, because it's D&D? Stand up and have some balls. And if you're a woman, I don't know, have some breasts. Stand up and say... Ovaries, there you go. No, you cannot be a paladin. Or no, whoever the other character is, you can't do your thing because it won't work. So one of you two has to capitulate here. Either the paladin exists or you exist. Now, that gets rid of every thief. No, it doesn't. There are many, many, many different types of thieves, especially in older Dungeons and Dragons, where thieves are more about spelunking and dungeon delving. They're more like archaeologists. They're like God. Now I'm blanking on the movie. Indiana Jones. And they, not saying they couldn't pickpocket and so forth. Robin Hood, there you go. There's another one. The point being is that they absolutely can get along. It's just that people always want to have these extremist characters. Well, that's what my character would do. It is never an excuse to ruin a game session. All right, let's move on. See, Paladins of Justice are found. Did we already do that? Promising. Okay, Paladins of Justice are found among all sorts of religions, but are especially prominent among the religions devoted to law and justice. The highest priority, of course, would be righting the wrongs of the enemies of the religion. A paladin of Tyr, by the way, this is not the Forgotten Realms tier. This is the Norse god Tyr. Yeah. A paladin of Tyr, if such paladins exist. I love that. If such paladins exist in a campaign.
You may not have that religion in the area where your campaign is taking place. That means you wouldn't have any paladins of that religion.
Or the game master might just say, nah, Tyr doesn't do paladins.
Yeah, not in this earth.
Right? Would be devoted to fighting injustice caused by giant kind or Loki's agents, the enemy of the Norse gods. Paladins of War. Because so many of the paladins' abilities are directed at fighting evil, it is logical that many paladins will devote their energies to the holiest of wars, seeking out and exterminating evil. These paladins seek out sources of evil and attempt to eliminate them in the most effective manner. Paladins of War are the sort who can't decide whether to take their annual vacation. I like this line. Vacation in the abyss or in the nine hells. So they do both. Paladins of War are extremely aggressive, sometimes too aggressive. Stories abound about paladins who wander city streets using their detect evil ability on everyone passing by. When such a paladin finds someone of evil bent, he takes out his gleaming sword and slays the miscreant. Well, paladins are supposed to slay evil, but what is wrong with this picture of paladinhood?
See, that's more like thought crime.
Yes.
You know, just because you tend toward being evil doesn't mean you have committed an evil act that deserves your death.
Did you read ahead?
No.
Okay, well, you just gave the answer.
Oh.
The answer is simple. It's missing the quality of justice. Even though a paladin may sense that an entity is evil, no proof exists that the entity has committed an evil deed unless it is caught in the act. Paladins should slay evil sorry, I got to do my pronoun thing here for a second. This is absolutely right. This is how you're supposed to write. It. An entity is an it, not a they. Paladins should slay evil beings while the evil actions are taking place. Example given, attacking someone who is torturing peasants. Not just because the beings are noted to be evil. The Paladin's detect evil ability is meant to give an advantage in dealing with evil and to prevent him from being tricked, not give him a license to kill. Remember that the next time your Paladin wants to chop off the hand of the thief.
Yep.
I say that a lot because it's happened in a lot of different campaigns all over the world. Compounding the problem of fighting evil is the fact that evil is often lawful. A lawful evil creature may have a rigid system of slavery, and if a paladin slays a person for committing this evil act, the paladin is breaking the law. If the paladin breaks the local law while fighting evil, does he violate his code? Okay, what do you say, Heathen Dog?
Okay, it depends on the god the paladin serves. It really does, because his alignment is lawful good, but he's a paladin. So he has to follow the strictures of the god, the church, and then the laws of the land. And if the laws of the land conflict with God or church, then the God or church laws win.
I have never talked to somebody who had actually this much understanding of Paladin. Good job.
Really? Oh.
Especially since you haven't read this. Yeah. But yeah, again, that's opinionated. Some people, other people's opinions may vary on that. But what Heathen Dog said is absolutely right. In my view, a paladin is not bound to the laws of a nation or individual unless he has sworn fealty to that nation, which honestly would be more of a cavalier.
A paladin would never do, because then they would have
unless it's a theocracy. Unless it's a theocracy.
Yeah, right. But if the church and the state are one, then you are not dividing your loyalty between God and a mortal entity.
Right.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like the Knights Templar. They didn't swear fealty to France or they swore fealty to the church, which is why they did things across borders.
Right.
Anyway, but
and that's why outside of a theocracy, a paladin cannot be a king.
When I think of how a paladin should act, I ask the question, what would Superman do? Unless it's Superman under the effects of red. Okay. Now, honestly, yes, I believe, at least, I mean, I'm not a big comic book person like Heathen Dog is, but I think
that's fine. I mean, yeah, I mean, you're losing some nuance, but no matter where you land, if you WWSD, you're on the right track.
Sure. Yep. SMD. Anyway, but so where were we here? So
Superman is one word, so no, just us.
Okay. In my view, a paladin is bound not to the laws of a nation or individual, but to a more personal law, the principles by which his life is governed. The conflict between the principles and rigid laws of the Solamic Knights and Dragonlance volume, blah, 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 is an excellent example. So, and we've talked about the Solamic Knights in the past. This does not allow a paladin to assassinate an evil king, but it does allow him to organize a rebellion and encourage overthrow of the evil ruler if the ruler will not agree to change his ways.
Right.
Which is weird because most of the paladins I've played with in games, they would see it the exact opposite. Like, I can't spur on a rebellion. That's against law. Law isn't necessarily about following all the laws of the land. Now again, it's not just, well, my personal code trumps a law every time. Law is about organization. It's about, we understand that we need these laws in order for civilized society to exist. You can't have anarchy. It's really just the opposite of entropy, the opposite of anarchy. It's labels, it's organization, it's wanting to work together as a team.
Yeah, that's why you can be both lawful good and have a functional society, and be lawful evil and still have a functional society, because it lacks chaos. And without that chaos, you can actually, have a cohesive community moving forward. That's all you really need.
Surprised in the real world how people would much more willingly accept a lawful evil society than a chaotic a good one.
Yes, because a lawful evil society has the benefit that no other society has.
I would say no to Robin Hood being a paladin because I don't think that he's lawful good. I think that he's chaotic good. Maybe
chaotic
neutral good.
Or neutral, yeah. Chaotic or neutral good. But a lawful evil society has one bonus that no other society has, and that's safety, or at least the perception of safety. Yeah. Because in a lawful evil society, all laws are followed. If not, all punishments are severe. That means on the surface, it's going to seem extremely safe. It's the safety of a boot in your neck, but still, it's perceived to be very safe.
I mean, if you look at Stalinistic communism, if you look at Hitler Nazism, banned.
The streets were free of crime.
Yep.
They were clean. People went and went to work, went to school in safety.
Well, unless they said the wrong things.
But they knew
what the rules were.
Yeah, they knew what the rules were. They decided to break them, and then they got boots on their necks. That's what happens. But on the surface, a lawful evil society looks extremely enticing. Darkseid is an absolutely lawful evil guy. His word is law, but the law is law. Yes. I mean, he also loves torturing people, but you know that going in as well. So
that's how we keep the law stable. That's how we keep society.
Yeah. Stability through fear.
This law governs a paladin's not what Heathen Dog just said, but what we talked about before. This law governs a paladin's relations with evil humans and demi-humans. Paladins are considered to be at war with evil humanoids, undead, and monsters such as evil dragons, demons. Really, you had to say demons twice. Daemons. I think they meant devils, and devils. I don't know why that was in there that many times, but whatever.
Daemons and devils are the two different kinds of hell, or two different planes.
I see demons and daemons.
One of them is the chaotic evil plane of hell. The other is a lawful evil plane of hell.
Yeah, demons are the abyss. That's chaotic evil, and devils are the hells. But why do we have demons twice? That's just anyway. Doesn't matter. And
demons and daemons in first edition were different. I can't remember exactly how.
I know demons and devils were, but okay, maybe these are the Yugoloth.
Maybe,
I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. And
Greasy said it.
Oh, they are Yugoloths.
To Yugoloths.
Oh,
yep.
Okay. I didn't. You know what? You educated me on something. I did not know that.
Okay. Well, you guessed it.
Well, it's because of the war. I mean, I know the war.
Neutral evil. There you go. Yeah. That's right. That's right. There was lawful evil, neutral evil, and chaotic evil.
Yeah. The Tanari, the Batsu, and the Yugoloth. Yep.
Right.
Because of satanic panic. Otherwise, it still would have been demons, devils. And can usually slay them with impunity, preferably by a clean kill in combat. Paladins never... That's a pretty absolute word right there. Paladins never use torture, nor will they permit themselves to be... Now, this is a big one. Nor will they permit themselves to be led out of the room just when the rest of the group is about to stick bamboo splinters under the drow's fingernails. Right. I don't know why not, but hey, because it's a drow. But whatever. Oh wait, I'm not a paladin. But
you will never torture, and you will never knowingly permit someone to be tortured. Now, hey, you know what? If they legitimately fool you into leaving the room, that's not on you.
Paladins are supposed to have decent wisdoms.
You are. But if you were legitimately fooled, like you resisted that conniving roll to get you out of the room under pretense, and you failed, hey man, that is a roll. God is not going to punish you for that. But if you sit there and say, yes,
my mom's calling me.
The bread.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and then leave knowing what's going to happen, you're in crisis now.
Hey, did you watch Beep yet?
Nope. You got 2 minutes and 54 seconds.
Oh, check some. I do. So I'm just going to do this now. Pardon me while I pause here. No. Oh.
Yeah, if you don't know, he is bidding on a hardcover edition of Paranoia 2nd edition role-playing game book, which is, in our opinion, the best edition of Paranoia, the best edition of Paranoia that came out.
Okay, I hope I did that right. Great. Now you just told everyone. Now they're all going to bid against me. Thanks.
I don't think they're going to do that. I'm sorry. Right. Soft cover. He's bidding on the soft cover version.
Well, there's also the box set too, so I'm looking at both. Anyway, Paladins of Glory. One of the primary goals of a paladin is to be an effective leader and a symbol of goodness, to serve as an inspiration for all people to follow the ways of lawful good. These paladins seek glory. Of all types of paladins, a paladin of glory is the closest to a cavalier in attitude. A paladin of glory goes on quests for the destruction of the most prominent evil beings available and gives themselves long, flowery epithets such as Sir Edwin, Darius, Dracobane Demon Slayer, Knight Champion of the Order of Golden Griffins, Dark Crusher, Paragon of Chivalry, etc. But Paladins of Glory, that is very cavalier-like, yes. Mm-hmm. But Paladins of Glory, unlike Cavaliers, do not have a haughtier-than-thou attitude towards people of lesser repute or social status.
Okay, now, as a good example of this, think of Superman. All right, Superman, his whole thing is he is a symbol. He goes and he fights the greatest evil possible. People see it. They are inspired, and they themselves want to do better. Add a little bit of preachiness in there. That's what you're looking at.
Yes, they often enjoy their fame and fortune, but everyone has the potential to serve good. Only evil is not worthy of respect. A Paladin of Glory may get annoyed when someone fails to treat him with respect, and he may view this as a sign that the person is evil, since anyone who is really good would certainly be smart enough to give the Paladin the honor he deserves. But such a Paladin doesn't go out of his way to make enemies by insulting people, and he generally treats common folk with courtesy.
Yeah, I mean, Superman... Oh, there it is. Superman, you know, even the bad guys, he never treated them badly. He never belittles anyone. There is only a couple of times in memory from comic books, cartoons, whatever, movies, where he has verbally abused anyone. There's no reason for that, because you're supposed to be a symbol. You're a paragon. You're supposed to inspire people. You can't do that if you talk down to pretty much anyone. So don't be a dick, basically.
If you want to be a dick, play a cavalier and don't get lay on hands in. Right. But if you want the power to heal, and you want the power to smite undead, and you want these things that the gods give you, even a god of war, still, a god of war goes to war not to destroy necessarily, at least not a good one. It goes to protect the people. You're a lawful good. You believe in organization, you believe in society, and you believe in ultimate goodness. There's no part of just being a dick and slaying people and chopping off the hand of a thief every time
that fits into that at all.
Right. Yeah. The fourth variety of Paladins of Defense. The fourth variety of Paladin is sometimes referred to in gaming as the Boy Scout. The goals of these Paladins are to protect the innocent, defend the weak, and liberate the oppressed. Paladin defenders, like heroes on some television series. Superman equals Paladin, Batman equals Cavalier. Okay, I could see that. I mean,
well, remember
between those two classes, yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, but Batman used to kill people. He used to carry a 45, right? So
I don't see him as a Cavalier. I mean, personally, I see him as a whole different class. But if we're just talking those two classes, I agree with that. Paladin defenders, like heroes on some television series, travel about in search of people to save. They heal the sick and try to comfort fears, encouraging persecuted people who are too timid to fight back. Most important to a defender is the safety of the innocent. If a paladin would endanger innocence by picking a fight with evil, he'll back down. But will try to mete out justice as soon as it is safe to do so.
Right.
Paladin defenders.
This paladin is more of a superhero type.
This is more of a Superman, I think.
Yeah, yeah. That would be a closer analogy to Superman.
Paladin defenders should, in my view, form the majority of paladins. I agree with that. They are gentle and courteous people, but can be fierce in battle. Paladin defenders usually acquire good reputations and are the variety of paladin most hated by evil.
Yes, because this variety of paladin inspires the common people to rise up against all of the evil warlords' machinations. And that is a damn hassle. If you're an evil warlord and you constantly have to just crush rebellion after rebellion after rebellion because of that bastard paladin running around your kingdom, that's going to put a crimp in your grand plan. So yeah.
Paladins and religion. Paladins are granted their abilities by the gods. They are not simple fighters or cavaliers. They are priests as well, knowledgeable in the ways of their religions, and are also instruments of their religions. The attitudes of paladins are shaped by their doctrines. A paladin of a war god would usually be a paladin of war. A paladin of a justice god would be a paladin of justice, etc. More than one goal may be followed if the lawful good deity of the paladin... I cannot read. More than one goal may be followed if the lawful good deity of a paladin controls more than one area, such as tier noted in Legends and Lore. Paladins are responsible to the priesthood for their actions. This is another one that's often forgotten, by the way, is that paladins don't run the priesthood.
No.
They are the tools of the priesthood. They are the blunt instrument of the priesthood. Bestowing paladinhood may be the duty of a priest, the paladin status being granted only after the candidate has proved his skill and his worth. The appointment must be confirmed by the deity himself. Likewise, priests may have the ability to strip paladinhood, although only under the direction of the deity concerned. Paladins, for the most part, are rare.
Okay, so when you read that, this is what I heard.
Okay.
I heard that like a lot of Catholic religion, Judeo-Christian religions, the priesthood is a conduit to and from the Lord.
Sure.
But in the end, the Lord has the say. So to become a paladin, a virtuous knight has to prove himself to the conduit to the Lord, which is the clergy. The clergy petitions God. If God says yes, then God grants the power. The clergy is a middleman. Now, the clergy can also petition the Lord to take away the paladin's power, but the end say is the Lord. The clergy does not have power. The clergy is only a lawyer, either defending you or trying to persecute you in the court of God.
In the way that I run gods, I run the religions more like real world religions, where God just doesn't pop down and starts kicking back, puts feet on his desk and say, "Hey, what's up, priest? How you doing?" It's more like the wisdom of the priest, the guidance of the priest. Yes, there are magical spells. Yes, the God does commune through visions and so forth, possibly. But I don't like the concept of gods that just kind of hang out with people. So with regard to this, I would say that yes, a high level priest could do this without some manifestation, because that's just the way I run priests in my game. If the edict, basically, if the Pope gives an edict, you have to follow it. If the bishop gives an edict, you can take it up to the Archbishop or the Pope. Just as an example. Now, but it wouldn't just be a spur of the moment, because a good high level priest is thoughtful. But that's a whole different story for another time. Oh, let me see. I won this auction. Yay.
Good job. You are now the proud owner of the best edition of Paranoia that's ever come out.
Now I need to send him a message to see if it's easier for him to send it to my US address or my Germany address, because he's in the UK.
Okay.
But all right. So a paladin must swear an oath to follow.
Hey, Paranoia.
Fair enough. Where was it? Yeah, there it is. It follows doctrine with absolute faithfulness. Minor violations may be grounds for loss of paladinhood. Minor.
Minor.
Now, this doesn't mean the GM's a dick because he tricked the character into something.
No.
However, even the Paladin's handbook says that if the Paladin does something wrong, even if the Paladin didn't intend to do something wrong, the powers are taken away and or a quest needs to be done to resolve it. Doesn't matter that the intentions, nobody cares about intentions, cares about results.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
even if you were charmed and you did something wrong,
yep,
you still lose your powers.
Exactly. Now, but in a situation like that, God is merciful and go on this quest, kill a couple undead, or it depends on the level, obviously, but kill a demon or 3, stop this city, stop this corruption from happening, whatever it happens to be, and you will be welcome back in. If you don't do that, you're a dick DM. Now, if the paladin or the player of the paladin is just a dick, the powers are gone. You're a fighter. Have a nice day. Minor violations may be grounds for lost paladinhood. If a religion forbids a paladin to travel on a certain day of the week, the paladin would have to petition the deity or a servant's priest to lift the ban in life or death circumstances. Paladins are considered lesser priests in the hierarchy of a lawful good church. They will never be found within the higher levels of religious leadership.
Because they are not leaders.
They're tools.
Yes.
I hate to say it that way, but
that's what they are. They're tools of the Lord.
But look what they get for it.
Yes.
Paladins are considered to be more effective in the field than at the pulpit, even with a charisma of 17.
You want them literally boots on the ground, because they're the ones who are best in the front lines fighting, and they literally are your best foot forward with the people.
Remember, these are first edition tables, so it's still pretty damn high. But these are first edition tables. What is in second edition? 2,500
for a
paladin, or is it 3,000?
For a mage, it's 2,500. I forget what it is for a paladin.
I think it's paladin is 2,250 then, or I think it was just under mage. I forget, but whatever. I mean, it's still pretty high. But remember, these are first edition. Yep. Paladins. Okay, paladin limitations are subject to alteration by the church. That's right. So you better stay up on the code. For example, whereas a paladin may be limited in the number of his possessions, this limitation may also apply to priests of the paladin's religion. Some religions might permit paladins to save up wealth to build major strongholds to further the territory of their religion. Yeah. Some religions may permit paladins to associate with neutral beings, preferably to convert them to the side of good. In principle, however, paladins should be self-reliant, should not covet wealth or possessions, and usually even the players that I see in the game are pretty good about that part.
Yeah, the whole coveting possessions thing, I've never run into a big problem with that. I mean, the only time I've seen paladins like be a little hoardy is if they were saving up to like rebuild a church or a school or something like that. It was going to go back to the people anyway. That's the only time.
The way I always handled that is I used to say you have to give it to the priesthood, and they will do it in your name. And I don't screw with players or characters in that regard. I don't find the need to do that. So, but I still made them give it up. Just they had to show that sacrifice. But that's again me. In principle, our paladins should not should be self-reliant and should not associate it with corrupting influence. Notice it doesn't say evil.
No, it just says corrupting influences. Yeah.
Another issue is that of paladins and marriage. Some DMs insist that paladins take vows of chastity. Others are more liberal and permit the paladins to marry without relinquishing their paladinhood. In my view,
religion.
That's exactly how I handle it.
Depends on the religion.
In my view, marriage laws vary according to the governing religion. Again, I told you before, stop spoiling.
I'm sorry.
And the rules of order. In the world of Greyhawk setting, the king the furry king, is described as a paladin. Somebody's going to get mad at me for that, but I don't care. Yep. And his son is also a paladin, which would appear to indicate that some orders of paladinhood are permitted to marry, or at least, procreate.
Or adopt.
Historically, knights who strove for paladin-like virtues often took vows of chastity. This is yet another case of both sides being right. It should be left to the DM to determine whether... Hey, critters, DM, not you, not your player, not your character, the DM, to determine whether certain orders are allowed to marry.
Right.
Because paladins serve different religions, it's unlikely that paladins of differing religions will always get along. Regional rivalry is also a cause for inter-paladin conflict. Because of these differences, some orders of paladins will label other paladin groups as false. And yes, I've run into that before. And will fight them when they meet. I didn't find that, thank God, because they were too busy hacking up the wizard and the thief. But whatever. Many paladins have lost their lives and honor during such conflicts. This is one of the tropes that I use a lot, maybe too much in my games, is that I like religious conflict. Maybe because it's kind of got a real world feel to it, and I tend to like things that are kind of real worldy. But I like to have religious conflict. When there is a great evil to fight, a rampaging dragon or a lich with hordes of undead, however, regional and religious rivalries take a back seat to more important needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the core tenets of a paladin are the same. You are a lawful good character granted power by God to fight evil. Now, are you going to fight the lesser evil first or the greater evil first? Well, only an idiot will. We'll take the little evil first. I'll let the big evil, get bigger. No. The Lich Lord is going to trump your differences with the Paladin of Horus, and you're a Paladin of Set. Or no, that wouldn't.
Wow, that would be
no, that'd be bad. Paladin of Osiris, I guess.
Let's see, Toth's knowledge, Nephthys. There's different ones it could be.
Yeah, but whatever.
No, easiest one. Just go raw.
Some differences. You're both good.
Yeah.
You're both lawful good, and you both serve good gods. So the evil Lich King comes first.
The Cavaliers Paladins often come from the upper classes of society. Paladins often seem concerned with glory, which is the chief pursuit of all Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
At least on the surface, the two classes appear very similar. So much so that Paladins are considered to be a subclass of Cavaliers, not fighters. Remember, this is first edition.
Right.
First edition. The principal difference between Paladins and Cavaliers is attitude. How many times have I said that over the course of different streams, and maybe you've heard me say way back in the day and so forth, that when you act like a dick, you're playing a Cavalier. When you act humble, when you act with honor, you're playing, and I don't mean like Japanese Bushido honor or some sort of weird honor that requires you to stab people in the eyeball for blinking wrong way. But with a true sense of honor, you're playing a Paladin.
Right.
Cavaliers tend to be arrogant and haughty towards those of lower social station. Paladins are much more humble. Oh my God. Paladins are much more humble. Humility is considered a virtue. I have this highlighted in my take too. Cavaliers have many powers that are also included in the Paladin class. Okay, we don't need to read all these powers and so forth. I'm going to skip ahead to Paladin's Code. This is not a rule. This is a guideline that this author wrote to say, if you're having a hard time with this, let's take a look at this code.
Yeah.
Sometimes
try this on for size, see if it fits.
Exactly. Sometimes it's difficult to decide how. Sounds good. Sometimes it's difficult to decide how a paladin should be role-played. The following is a suggested set of guidelines that I've found useful. Death before dishonor. Dishonor before innocents are harmed. Oh, hold on. Let's say that one again. Dishonor before innocents are harmed. All women are to be honored. And yes, this is a chivalric code, so if you find this sexist, fuck you. On the other hand, you could say all members of any genders, sexes, and identities and so forth are to be honored. But remember, this is based on a chivalric, God, I can't even say the word now, code of our real world. Be polite and courteous, even if insulted. Holy crap, you can't be a cavalier. All challenges are to be met honorably. This does not mean that you have to stand toe-to-toe as a 5th level paladin versus a Great Worm Red Dragon. You can fight the dragon with an army. You can attack it from the back. This isn't Bushido Code type stuff. This isn't a Circle of Equals type stuff from Battletech Clans. But you fight honorably. You don't poison, civilians in order to get to the enemy in the end. Obey your religion and honor its tenets. Obey the laws of the land where they do not conflict with your religion. Respect all opponents. Avoid all excesses. Care for the sick and aid the distressed. Honor your liege lord and your deity, and do not permit evil to do harm. So, I'll talk to you on Discord. Oh, you heading out, Bruce? All right, you have a good one. I know I missed some in chat here, but take care. And thank you for the super chats again, sir. All right. So, Paladins are a very interesting class to play in the AD&D game. In many ways, Paladins are the ultimate heroes in heroic fantasy. being goody two shoes isn't for everyone, but it can be a lot of fun. And I think that this article gave a lot of room for error in the goody two shoe size. It basically just says, what's the rule of nowadays? Don't be a jerk. Wouldn't you say that kind of sums it up?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's got more, but
Yeah. There's more to it. But what we, what chat talked about earlier, what would Superman do? Like I said, if you answer that question, then you're in the ballpark. You're in the lane. You're in the Paladin lane at that point.
Okay. Now the corrected Cavalier. We're not going to talk much about this. Notice that this not Dungeon Dragon magazine has a theme. It's like all fighters and Cavaliers.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
At least in the beginning.
But basically, a Cavalier is this. It is your traditional East. So
your stereotypical Templar.
Okay, yeah. Your typical European knight. They were not cool dudes. All right, they weren't.
I would say they're more story, more fable oriented than just the actual knight. But yeah, that's why I say like the Templars, because the Templars are known to be both dicks and well, they did help us out, but God, they taxed the crap out of us.
Like also in Japan, samurai would be considered a lawfulish cavalier because sure they had a code, they had all that stuff, but if you were a peasant and you walked in a samurai's way, you're probably going to die for disrespect. That's something a cavalier would do. You disrespect a cavalier, you're going to get something cut off.
Now, the point of this article, and we're not going through it, is that cavaliers out of Unearthed Arcana were really, really powerful. Like they were way OP. So what this article tried to do is like make them functional, tone them down a bit, but also they still have parity with fighters, rangers, and paladins. Oh my!
Right.
Back to some forum stuff. Middle Earth role-playing game. You notice there's a lot more games in here to talk about. Arcane lore. Can a wizard cure your light wounds? No. But, it's a pretty good article on how, one, it explains why there are no healings. And I got really upset. This is many years ago. I think it was after I got out of the Air Force. So it was around 2001, 2002. Yep. But I was playing in a game, and it was still a second edition game, but the wizards had healing spells. I'm like, what the hell? It was cool because I was playing a wizard. But it was, there's a reason that, well, we don't use the word game balance, but we do use the fact that wizards are more frontal assault. Here's your fireball in your face. They don't. If they had healing as well, why would you ever play a cleric? And don't tell me D8 D8 for hit points, because no, wizards are powerful. So wizards aren't intended to have direct healing, but it does talk in here about how you can use different spells to either prevent injury or to mitigate it, or to be a type of healing. And it even adds new spells in here, which if you read them, they're not healing spells, except for maybe this one.
But it's a sacrifice. You're healing, but you're also hurting.
Yeah, and imagine this. When cast, the spell transfers 1 hit point per level of the caster to the target creature, plus an additional 1d4 hit points. Hit points are added to the target's current roll. Remember, you're running around with a d4. If you're trying to heal that fighter and think, no, this is an emergency, like, oh crap, you're gonna die.
Yeah. This is blood magic. You're just using your own blood, which means you're not evil. Now, if you use somebody else's blood, well, then you're probably not going to be a PC very long.
So anyway, that's what this is about. And I thought it was a good article. Again, just because I think it's a good article doesn't mean I necessarily use it in my game. I just thought it was good food for thought and made some sense, and I could understand if somebody wanted to do it. Games reviews, yay! Let's see, how many of these companies still exist? No, because the new FASA isn't this FASA.
Nope.
No. No. I never even heard of them. No.
West End Games still exists, right?
Yeah, but not in the same. Not exactly.
But they sold FASA.
Well, they sold all their product line, from what I remember.
All of them?
And this is Chaos. So Chaosium exists.
Yeah, Chaosium still exists. Yeah.
I thought they sold all their product lines. You know what? Maybe somebody can correct us in chat, and maybe I'm wrong. New products that are coming in. Look at this. Monsters Compendium wasn't even out yet. So check out the new
for $20 or £13.60. With an asterisk.
Buy some paints. 3 hot new games from TSR. There you go. Oh, look at that beauty. I do like the cover. I understand why people really like the first edition because of the nostalgia. And I'm not gonna lie, I have the same thing. I still think that this is the best cover.
Yeah, it's a better cover. You're right.
And second edition had the best artwork of all the editions by far. Nobody can convince me of otherwise. Elmore, Parkinson, Caldwell. I know I'm missing names, but absolutely had the best artwork of all the editions. Available in June. Available in July. So luck of the draw. This talks about how different ways of using the deck of many things. I thought it was actually a pretty neat article. It had a couple things in here I didn't consider. If you're going to throw a deck of many things in your game, I would suggest reading this luck of the draw article.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising. It's not like, how do I say this? You may have thought of even better ideas. It isn't a way to screw over the party. It's not about screwing over the party, but it is, how can we introduce this in interesting ways? How can it appear? Like in this one, it talks about them being plates. Plates that spilled all over the place. But the magic isn't activated because nobody said I draw 3-4 cards. When you try to show a card, if I were to pick up a card and show it to Heathen Dog, there's the camera, he wouldn't see anything on it because he didn't draw a card. So it's still a random, so you can't like say, okay, let's put the good ones on top, the good ones on bottom. The card doesn't reveal itself until you say, I draw 3 cards. And so, what was that you put on there?
Oh, West End Games apparently released their D6 line for free.
Yeah, I got the Star Wars one.
But they don't really know. But Aeron the Relentless doesn't know if they still exist as a company in the same fashion.
I thought they did not, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. See, American Games Fair. So we're gonna keep just. There's really not much else. There's something I do want to show people. Here's the 13 card deck and how you can utilize that. Now, does this font look? Oh, damn it! It's on the screen. Never mind. Does this font look familiar to you? What is it about the Palladium font that the second you see it, you're like, Palladium?
Yeah.
You just know. Oh, Palladium. Well, look at this. We're in Dragon Magazine, sorry. And we got a bunch of Palladium stuff going on here. So. I know, right?
Yeah.
And and transdimensional.
Yep.
Got to mail in for it though.
Oh no.
True leaders go by the book. That's supposed to be BUY. Just to let you know. This is an advertising trick.
Yeah.
The Game Wizards. This is where I actually started to not like the magazine.
When they started doing computer stuff?
Yep. Don't care. And it talks about the computer games. I get it. They're role-playing-ish games and so forth. Oh, what font is this again? There's old ones, Adventure High Seas, Monsters and Animals. I have that one. Palladium role-playing game. Where is it? Men of Arms, Palladium World, Palladium. Okay, never mind. I thought I saw one in here with TMNT. This is just some map stuff. Monsters are coming. The monsters are coming. Gazetteer. I only have one Gazetteer, the Republic of Darkin. I never got the rest of them. Part of me wishes I had. The other part of me says I probably wouldn't use them anyway. Now, there's a mistake that a lot of people make, especially with the 5th edition shit. When they try to, back in the day, you could play orcs and goblins and so forth. It was in the Gazetteers. Okay, let me correct you. I'm trying to find exactly where they talk about it here. Let me correct it. The Orcs of Thar. The Orcs of Thar is how to play a monster group, not how to have an orc mixed in with an elf and a dwarf, but how to play a monster group. And 2 orcs, a goblin, and a hobgoblin. That's quite a bit different. How do you act, as monsters, Yeah, I mean, and to me, that could be interesting. It's just like, what they had, what was that, the Council of Worms to play dragons?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have the Humanoid's Handbook to play other stuff. Now that's supposed to integrate more. But the Orcs of Thar is supposed to be how to play monsters, not how to play monsters within your normal group. FSG's only selling... Okay. What I miss in chat? Yeah, I got the new Star Wars. I was happy that they reprinted those. The Sea Peoples? Yeah. Okay. Other stuff there. But I just wanted to point that out because a lot of... Hey, what book is this? Look at that font. Do you have any of these? Compendium of Weapons?
I do have... I don't have the old ones. I have the Compendium of Modern.
Oh, okay. I have both.
Okay, I only have the modern one.
Oh, I don't have this.
Because I don't play Palladium fantasy settings.
Oh,
I play Palladium current day and future.
I like the background for Palladium Fantasy. I kind of agree with Bob on this one. It's got like some of the richest setting. It's got the richest setting you'll probably ever find. Meaningfully rich, not just words thrown on a page. With one of the worst game systems ever. Like I would rather play anything else when it comes to game system for fantasy. For future, I'm a little bit more tolerant of the Palladium. So actually, a lot more tolerant. I like TMNT. I know you like Rifts. Because I think it fits better, especially when you start doing like Robotech with the missiles. I guess that'd be Mechanoids now or whatever the hell. So I'm with Heathen Dog in this one. I definitely prefer the modern or futuristic version fantasy games. Palladium games much more. The fantasy stuff, I'd almost rather play any game system. But there's a lot of rich lore you can get from it.
Yes.
A lot of things you can use that are really good.
The old ones, alone pervade the entire Palladium universe. The idea of the old ones, them still sleeping, them waking up. I mean, it is rich in lore in all of the Palladium works.
That's one of the things that a lot of people, it's actually for basic D&D. I don't care when it comes to like lore or when it comes to, ideas. I don't care if it's for AD&D or BD&D, but yeah, specifically the Gusseteers were for basic. So I only have one. I don't know why I only ever got one, and it's not even one I care about. But greatest treasure of all. Look at that, Dungeon and Dragon. This is before, all types of competition.
Right.
All right,
while you are scrolling through the end of this book, I'm going to refill my soda because I got a feeling there's going to be a fight coming soon.
Yeah, we'll get crafty in here. See, back on the computer game stuff. There's something I do want to show people. The reason I'm scrolling through the whole thing is this is still a flip through, just like we did the first couple times. And this book just happens to be much longer than the first couple. Support your local gaming convention. I like that. Go. Oh, is it here? Is it here? Well, it's going to be in one of these pages here. Gamer's Guide. Here we go. A lot of advertisement. Yep. Kaplau dice set. There'll be dragons. Diamond dice. Eat right, live long. Look at that. Even back then, like, hey, you gotta eat right. Stop eating Doritos and Mountain Dew. Okay, this is what I want to show people. War Games West. This is actually where I gamed. If anybody out there knows any of the War Games West people from end of 1992 to the beginning of 1994, so mostly 1993, this is hey cat. This is where I gamed in Albuquerque, and yeah, had a lot of good sessions there. LOL, xenophobe. Where's the xenophobe stuff? Did I miss something? Oh, okay, there. Yep, Xenophobe. Join Xenophobe today. Game of intergalactic, economic, political, and military. Is this a play-by-mail game? I've done back in the day, I did play-by-mail games, so. But yeah, so if anybody reaches out, if anybody out there knows War Games West, like I said, 1993 would be the full year I was there, but it's from the end of 92 to the beginning of 1994. This is actually where I gamed. And Central Avenue, I remember driving to Central Avenue, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And did a lot of Battletech there, did some D&D. This is actually where I was, where they closed down the game store. Well, they didn't close it down, but they closed down the back room, and they said, nobody's allowed to game here today, everybody has to play Magic. And I was pissed, because I don't like card games at all. And and there's 2 rows of tables, they said, everybody's got to play Magic, tell us what you think of this game. I was the only one in that room that said this game is bullshit. It's for 12-year-olds. Nobody's gonna like it. I was wrong. But I still don't like Madden. I mean, but I don't like that type of game. I didn't like the anting for cards. I didn't like the randomness of it. That's just not the type of game I play. So, so I didn't like it. But everybody else in there did. Older, younger, so on and so forth. Now, after that, everybody pretty much went back to playing role-playing games because this is when it was brand new. This is where Al and I had the disagreement over the fact of whether I play-tested the game or not. I don't know if I officially play-tested it for Wizards of the Coast, but I know I play-tested at least for the store because they shut everything down. They said, everybody's got to try this game. They gave us free decks and so forth. And apparently everybody liked it, so they started selling it. But, yep.
Oh, yeah. And Mark Hockman's right. The whole anti-idea died decades ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no,
yeah.
I know. Like, look, the last decks I had was when people were still fighting over if it had a black border or a white border.
There were even a couple of cards that to use properly, you have to tear up and throw in the air.
I want to play a sci-fi game fighting aliens. Let's call it Xenophobe. Hey, I would. But then again, I don't get butthurt over words, so. Gazetteer. Don't have any of those. Let's see, Principality. Nope. Oh, Republic of Dairy. That's the one I have. I think there are 13 of them, aren't there? So, do you remember this term?
No.
Self-addressed stamped envelope.
Oh.
Remember, any time back in the day when you submitted something, you had to give them a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Self-addressed stamped envelope if you wanted something returned. Yeah.
Or if you wanted them to just accept it, because a lot of times they'd have notes or whatever. I mean, there was an email, so. Yep. So. Again, more diet, like eat right. Yep, getting down through the miniatures. So there's still a little bit of miniature gaming in here. Not as much, but oh, there you go. The Weird West. See, what are the prices of games back then? Deluxe Rune Quest, $24.95.
Steve Jackson Games, GURPS Player's Book. I can't read that.
$8.50. Or $9.95, yeah, for list.
Look at that.
Let's see, board games, Games Workshop, Blood Bowl, only $47, $39. Damn, man. Talislanta. I actually saw some tweets about Talislanta. I might actually go over to once I get settled into, I was going to say Arizona, Jesus, Alabama. I have 4th edition Talislanta. I know they're doing like 7th or 8th edition now, but I have 4th edition Talislanta. Very interesting world. It's
Call of Cthulhu hardcover, $24.96. Or is that 95?
95, yeah. 95.
Yeah, $24.95. Hardcover. Hardcover.
This is my baby right here. This is what in 1989, this is what I was playing all freaking time. It's Battletech. And by the way, this map set too, I am so pissed I never got it. It doesn't work now. If somebody were to even buy it for me, it just wouldn't be the same. Map set 2 is the one that came with the full map of the Inner Sphere, and I never got it. Talislanta 4th edition is great. Yeah, I like the world. I never really played the game. The rules are a little D20ish, but it's different than D&D. Nobody I could ever find was interested in it, and it's one of those things. Yeah, Max would rather live in Arizona. Yes, I would. It was just
you've never lived in Alabama. You can't tell yet.
Fair. It is one of those games that when I was excited about it, I tried to get people to play it and nobody would. It was too close to Dungeons and Dragons. But Earth Dawn, because I could describe it a little bit differently, nobody had a problem with. So, all right. I think we're getting close to the end here. Watch your step. Oh, this is before, because wasn't Ninjas and Super Spies like 80? Oh. Actually, this was around the time of Ninjas and Super Spies. The thing is Top Secret blew Ninjas and Super Spies out of the water. What's the first printing, though? Yours is revised, right?
I know, hang on. First printing, 1990.
Yeah, but I think there's an edition before that one, wasn't there? I thought there was one done in the late 80s.
Oh, 88. You're right.
88. Okay, yeah. Yeah, but Top Secret at this time blew to everybody I knew was playing Top Secret. Nobody was playing Ninjas and Super Spies. I didn't get into Ninja Super Spy stuff until the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and later, when people were playing Rifts and people became completionists. What's this? Leisure Games. Dragonlance, good versus evil. Okay, and all the conventions. I'm not going to go through. There are a lot of conventions here. Oh, I have that book. Transdimensional TMNT. You can see. Yep, and nope. I never got the Adventures book. Didn't feel I needed them. Kind of wish I had them now for completionist purposes, but that's it. Yes, I have After the Bomb. That's what the game's titled now. But the books are completely different. Completely. But originally they had the source book After the Bomb. Now the entire game's called After the Bomb. Roadhogs, Mutants Down Under. This is before Mutants of Avalon and Mutants of the Yucatan, huh? Ninjas and Super Spies. There you go. Oh, look at that. So, the revised Heroes Unlimited. Oh, we miss you, Robotech.
Yes.
All right, moving on. The big sigh. Star Wars. These are a lot funnier than the original ones that we were reading before, so they got better at this. I did like this one.
Oh, mascara, that's funny. Yeah.
What's this? Oh, it's a sniper. That's a computer game. Have you played Dungeon before?
No.
I think Shares has it. I think he had me play it. Okay, there we go. We're at the end of the book. There we go. We did our page flip and we talked about the Paladin.
Yep.
Boom.